Uh-oh. So it was 2016, and I quit my job, sold everything I owned, and then I drove away. And then 10 years later, I did the same thing. There was lots of uncertainty in all of this. Like, what are you going to do? Where are you going to live? Where are you going to go? What do you do with your furniture? How do you handle all of that? Um, this way of being has taught me a lot about what entrepreneurs need to know, what they need to hear, how they maybe need to approach their business differently than the way they do now. I hope you guys will forgive me. I am new to streaming on YouTube, so especially live. So I'm trying to figure it all out. But in the meantime, let me tell you what happened. In 2016, I was just pretty miserable in my job. I was a civilian for the military, and some things happened, and I decided I'm going to quit my job, sell everything I own, and drive away. And it was amazing. Okay, very freeing. And then 10 years later, something very similar happened again. And it's 2026 now. And just recently, like a week ago, I moved from Little Rock, Arkansas to Colorado. Big deal. And for like the very first part, even though I decided I was moving and I had all kinds of stuff going on, I didn't have a signed lease. And so that was like this really confusing and uncertain moment, and I wasn't really sure what to do. So I'd applied for the apartment lease. I signed a bunch of documents. This is like one of those different kind of apartments, not a regular one. And they sent like follow-up questions, and it just went on and on. And it like 2 or 3 weeks in, it's like, am I moving or am I not moving? I mean, I didn't even know, because they had not been able to finish all the paperwork they needed. And I just kept waiting and waiting and waiting. Being in limbo and waiting on someone else is not very comfortable for me. And I just decided, why am I letting these people, this apartment complex, 55 plus thing, determine my life? So I made a decision. I had to go, am I moving to Denver or am I staying in Arkansas? And I knew that I wanted to move to Denver, but I'd been waiting and waiting and waiting on these people. So I decided I am moving to Denver, and in the worst case scenario, I get there and I have to stay in a hotel for a couple of nights, or I do some temporary housing. That's all doable. And somehow it changed everything. I made some decisions that I'm going to make this move. And so my questions changed from, oh my gosh, like, should I be cleaning this or putting this away? And I don't want to do it before it's time. And what if I don't move again, if it's another month or whatever? So the questions changed from should I and how will I to what's next? What's next? What's next? So I'm like, oh my, okay, let me figure something out about this furniture. So what you guys may or may not know, when I moved from New Orleans to Little Rock, and that was actually only 2 years ago, the moving company somehow nicked, beat, dented, slit, I don't know, they destroyed my furniture. And let's just say that's the end of that story, because I'm not going to get into all the stuff that happened with them afterwards. But basically, I knew when I moved out of the apartment I was in Arkansas, that I was not going to be taking that furniture with me. So that was something I had determined a while back. But somebody had told me Habitat for Humanity will pick up your furniture for you. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. So I called them to find out what the process was. And basically they were like, well, in about 2 weeks, we can come. I'm like, 2 weeks? No, I've decided I'm moving. Like, it has to be like really soon. And the lady says, well, we pick up according to zip code. What is your zip code? So I told her, and she was like, we can be there tomorrow. And I was like, oh, okay. The universe is seriously supporting me to like, it's time to move now. So I knew that I had an air mattress, and I had a little staging area where I'd been putting some stuff that I knew that I wanted to take with me. So it wasn't like a complete surprise, I had been planning, like I said, should I do this or that? So what I did for the rest of the day, which was Wednesday, I just piled into my one room the things I wanted no one to touch. So sure enough, about 9:30 Thursday morning, they came and took everything, like all the furniture that I had, except for like one chair and a little table and my TV. And it was a little bit crazy because it's like, oh, it was uncomfortable. Like, you don't get to sit in your sofa, and it's just weird, but very doable. Anyway, I finished packing stuff up, but you know, the thing that happened for me, the turning point, it wasn't the lease. It wasn't the apartment complex deciding, okay, we're going to let you in. It was me deciding without that certainty that I'm moving forward with my plan. And I think this is the thing that all entrepreneurs should know, is that we often think that certainty comes before action, but sometimes your decisions, if you're considering them well, they're going to come before the action, right? So you think about it, you make a decision, then certainty shows up later. I think a lot of us say, I should be certain about moving in this direction, or I'm not going to go in that direction. And I'm saying maybe there's skills that could be put into place that making the decision before you have the certainty way easier. Because in the beginning, when I thought, how can I move? I don't have a lease. What's going to happen if I get there? Should I drive? Because look, from Arkansas, it's like you pack in the morning, which is 4 hours to get in your car, get everything in there and settled in, clean up, and then you drive for 4 hours. This is what I did by myself with 2 dogs. The next day was my long drive day, which was 8 hours of drive time. And then the next day was 4 hours of drive time to get to, Aurora. But then I had to unpack everything. So I really liked that I took some short drive times so that I had energy to pack and unpack my car. So when we can gather information and make decisions, good decisions, based on what we have information on, our desires, our directions, you do the best you can. And you keep gathering more information and you keep moving forward and you keep taking those steps, because I don't want to misquote who said it. I think it was Martin Luther King. I don't know. But you don't need to see the whole stairway to take the first step. Okay. So what's interesting is Habitat for Humanity came on Thursday. My plan was to leave on Friday. That didn't happen, and it was okay. Why it didn't happen doesn't matter right now. That may be another story, but it didn't happen. And I didn't feel the need to push myself. I'm like, I can leave the next day, which was Saturday, which I did. On Friday, interestingly, everything got put into place and the lease was signed. So I had a direct place to come. And that was really wonderful. But I didn't let it stop me from making all my decisions to move forward. So I'm just curious, have you ever been in a position where you've caught yourself like waiting for certainty before you raise your prices, do the launch, post that post? Like there's this discomfort inside and you're waiting for something to happen. Tell me about it in the comments. I would love to hear about it. Subscribe if you enjoy this kind of interaction back and forth where we're connecting on real moments in life. I know that if you're like me, it's like you know what you want to do, and maybe you just don't have the skills yet to do it. So that's what this channel is all about. I'll see you later.